So this slide right here, this is what's causing all the buzz. And believe me, it's for a very good reason. Now, what you're seeing isn't some far-off concept art. No, this is the real deal. The blueprint for what Tesla's engineers are physically building right now inside Giga Nevada. For anyone out there watching the cost of housing just climb and climb, especially if you're over 55 and thinking about retirement, what we're about to get into could be a serious look at the future of how we live. And I want to be crystal clear from the get-go, this is not just some reskinned modular home you've seen before. We are going deep, diving into Tesla's 2026 production model, and we're basing all of this on leaked engineering docs, patents, and insider reports. This is a mass-produced product, and it really demands a serious, detailed breakdown. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide. You see, our goal today is to go way beyond the headlines. We're going to explore the incredible promise of this thing for sure, but, and this is important, we're also going to put all that critical fine print right under the microscope. We're looking at the complete picture. So let's get into it.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the housing revolution that Tesla is trying to start. Then, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of what they're calling an indestructible home. After that, we'll step inside this automated oasis to see what it's actually like to live in one. Then we're going to talk money, the true price of this freedom. And then, probably the most important part, we're going to pick apart the terms of ownership, the rules that Tesla sets. All of this is going to lead us to that final question, and your verdict. Is this thing a dream come true, or is it just a really fancy cage?
Okay, Section 1. To really get what this project is all about, we have to first understand the massive problem it's trying to solve. For millions and millions of Americans, that old dream of owning a home, it's not just fading away, it's become a mathematical impossibility. Let this number sink in for a second. 12 times. The average American home costs 12 times what a worker makes in an entire year. Back in the day, a healthy ratio was considered maybe 3-4 times your income. Today, we've tripled that. And if you live in a big city, forget about it. That number can easily jump to 20, even 30 times the local median income. This isn't just a problem for young families starting out. It's a full-blown crisis for retirees on a fixed income who are literally being priced out of their own neighborhoods. It's this constant financial pressure, this cycle of renting, where you have nothing to show for a lifetime of payments. And Elon Musk has always said that if advanced tech only serves the rich, it's a failure. So this housing project? This is his shot at applying that factory-style, large-scale problem-solving to a deeply human crisis. And that's really the big question that kicked this whole thing off. It's what led Musk to do this very public, very personal experiment. When he moved down to Texas for SpaceX, he didn't buy some massive mansion. Nope, he chose to live in a 400-square-foot modular home from a company called Boxable. Now, a lot of people thought that was just weird, an eccentric billionaire thing, but really it was him sending a message that quality of life isn't about how big your house is, it's about smart design and sustainability. That experience, that was basically the test kitchen for the Tesla tiny house project. It proved to him that the real problem wasn't a lack of materials or people to build. The problem was the old, slow, and debt-fueled construction industry itself. He asked that question, and in doing so, he set the whole stage for rethinking what a home even is from the ground up. Which leads us right into Section 2. See, Tesla didn't come at this like a home builder trying to use a little tech. They came at it like a tech company solving an engineering puzzle. Building a normal house is, let's be honest, a mess. You've got dozens of different contractors, months of delays, budgets that explode. Musk's whole goal was to do what he did with cars, bring everything in-house and automate the entire process.
What's happening inside Giga Nevada is pretty incredible. We're talking a production line that's reportedly 94% automated, using those second-gen Optimus robots for incredibly precise work. They've completely gotten rid of wood frames, the stuff that rots, burns, and gets eaten by termites. Instead, they're using aerospace-grade steel frames that are powder-coated to last for over 100 years. The walls aren't drywall. There's this high-strength concrete composite, and they're pressed with over 250,000 pounds of pressure. This creates a material that's literally 10 times stronger than a normal home's foundation. And the crazy part? The whole thing folds up, gets put on a Tesla Semi, driven to the site, and then it's unfolded and installed with utilities hooked up in just a few hours. Not months, hours. This is home manufacturing at a scale we've never seen before.
Okay, now this slide really puts the engineering into perspective. Let's really break this down. Your typical home might, maybe, survive a Category 2 hurricane. The Tesla house is rated for 180-mile-per-hour winds. That is a Category 5 storm, the most powerful kind of storm on the planet. Its seismic rating? Zone 4.
That means it's built for the highest risk earthquake zones, like right on top of the San Andreas Fault in California. And the fire rating is Class A. That's the same standard used for hospitals and schools, which means it's incredibly resistant to fire. Oh, and the insulation? R28. That's almost double what you get in a brand new standard home. What does that mean for you? It means your energy use for heating and cooling plummets, saving you real money every single month. This isn't just a house, it's basically a personal fortress. And here's the payoff for all that engineering focus. A certified structural lifespan of over 60 years before you need to worry about any major maintenance. Think about that. If someone moves in at age 60, this thing is engineered to be solid and stable for the rest of their life and probably for their kids' lives too, with barely any upkeep. That's a world away from traditional houses that are just a constant drain of money for new roofs, foundation work, you name it.
So we know the outside is built like a tank, but what's it actually like to live inside these walls day to day? Well, let's head into Section 3 and step inside this automated oasis.
The second that door opens, your whole idea of a tiny home just vanishes. It's not the 240 square foot size that hits you. It's this incredible feeling of calm and space. There's soft, indirect light everywhere. The air feels clean, still. Every single surface, from the light wood to the brushed steel, it's all designed to create this atmosphere of quiet precision. The whole philosophy here is obvious. Use technology and really smart architecture to make a small space feel huge, open, and just serene. It's like an environment that's been engineered to lower your blood pressure. Let's run through the features of this 2026 model. The ceilings are almost 10 feet high, which right away makes it feel so much bigger. The entire roof is one giant piece of electrochromic glass. So, with just one tap on the Tesla app, you can make it go from totally clear to completely opaque in just a few seconds. You can let in all the natural light you want or get total privacy. And at night, you can imagine the view of the stars. The furniture is all custom-made to do double or triple duty. The sofa becomes a bed, the table transforms, everything is high-end. We're talking Fisher & Paykel appliances. There's even a hidden induction cooktop so your counters stay clear and clean. And they even thought to put in a little dedicated corner for a pet.
Now this is a big one. This home isn't just a box you live in, it's an active system that looks out for you. The whole floor is full of these haptic sensors. The system can actually detect the impact of a fall. And if it senses that fall and the person doesn't get up within 45 seconds, the home's main computer automatically calls emergency services, gives them the exact GPS location, and unlocks the front door for the first responders. I mean, for a senior living alone, or really anyone with mobility issues, this is not a gimmick. This is a potential lifesaver. It gives you peace of mind, it gives your family peace of mind, and it allows for independent living with this invisible safety net built right in.
The bathroom is another perfect example of this focus on safety and dignity. The shower? There's no step. It's a zero-threshold entry, which gets rid of one of the most common ways people trip and fall. The grab bars aren't just screwed into the wall, they're built right into the home's steel frame, so they are rock solid. The toilet is a high-end Toto model, the kind you'd find in a five-star hotel, with a heated seat and a bidet. And then there's this little touch. The floor has radiant heat that gently warms up right where you're about to step out of the shower. See, these aren't just features. They show a really deep understanding of the challenges that can come with getting older, and they show a commitment to solving them with smart engineering.
Now, for the very first 500 units that are set to be delivered in early 2026, they're throwing in some exclusive, pretty amazing features. Part of that glass roof will actually slide open, basically turning your house into a convertible. The built-in sound system is from Bang & Olufsen, which is top-of-the-line audio. And maybe the most interesting thing, the wall behind the bed has this radiant heating element for something called thermal comfort therapy. There is a guy in the pilot program, 68 years old, who said that after just a week of this gentle, constant warmth, his chronic morning back pain was completely gone. That's technology making a direct, positive impact on your daily life. So let's see how this all adds up. We've got this super strong engineering, this luxurious and smart interior, which naturally makes you wonder, okay, what does this thing cost? How in the world does Tesla make all this technology affordable? And that brings us to Section 4. It's time to break down the numbers. So according to some leaked internal pricing sheets, the base model, which is pretty much just the super-engineered shell with basic utility hookups, comes in at an absolutely shocking $5,983. But, and this is a big but, that's not the one most people are buying. Early data shows that 89% of retired buyers are going for what Tesla calls the Independence Package. Now, for $14,993, you get the whole shebang, the complete self-sufficient system, the Gen 4 solar roof, a Powerwall 3 battery, that radiant floor heating, a medical-grade HEPA air filter, and that life-saving fall detection flooring. This is the package that delivers the full dream that Tesla is selling. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide.
And this is the number that just changes everything. For that complete independence package, Tesla's offering 0% financing for 60 months, which works out to a monthly payment of $249.88. Let's just put that into perspective for a minute. The average cost for a studio in an assisted living facility in America is over $4,000 a month. The average rent for a simple one-bedroom apartment is well over $1,500. This payment is less than what many seniors spend on just their prescriptions every month. And here's the key. Unlike rent, every single one of those payments builds equity. After 5 years, you own it, free and clear. No landlords, no leases, no surprise rent hikes.
And this is exactly why they call it the Independence Package. The solar roof is actually way oversized for what the home needs. On an average day, it generates 180% of the energy you'll use. All that extra power gets stored in the power wall and in structural batteries built right into the floor. And that's enough juice to power the whole house completely off-grid for 7 full days, even if the sun doesn't shine. The system also collects and filters up to 2,000 liters of rainwater, so you're independent for water too. The bottom line from all this, people in the pilot program are reporting average utility bills of just $15 to $20 a month. That is true freedom from the grid and from the utility companies.
I mean, let's just recap. An indestructible house, a luxury interior, a safety system that can save your life, and almost no utility bills for just $250 a month? It sounds almost too good to be true, right? And that leads us to the big, critical question. What's the catch? What is the real cost of ownership that's buried deep in the fine print? And that brings us to what is easily the most important part of this whole explainer. Section 5. So here's the story. Of the first 41 of these homes that were delivered in late 2025, 13 of the buyers, all of them over the age of 62, demanded a full refund within 72 hours of getting the contract. A real estate attorney who looked at the agreement found 6 specific clauses that are, to put it mildly, a cause for concern, and we are going to go through every single one of them.
These are the 6 big ones. These are the clauses that take this from a simple purchase to something way, way more complicated. Anyone even thinking about this needs to understand exactly what each of these means before they sign anything. So let's break them down one by one.
All right, number 1, repossession. The contract says that if you are just 30 days late on your community fees, Tesla has the right to repossess your home without going to court. Now, this is a huge departure from normal real estate law. Usually, in a foreclosure or an eviction, there's a long legal process. There are judges, there are hearings, all designed to protect the resident. This clause just throws all of that out the window. It basically gives Tesla the power to kick you out and take your home with almost no warning. It treats your home more like a car you stopped making payments on than a piece of property you own. Okay, clause 2, those escalating fees. So the home gets placed on land that Tesla provides, right? And they market it as free land for the first 2 years. But here's the thing, it's not free land, it's a 15-year lease. And starting in year 3, you have to pay community fees. The real kicker, though, is that the contract gives Tesla the right to change those fees based on this super vague term, operational costs. What does that even mean? It introduces a huge amount of financial uncertainty. If you're a retiree on a fixed income, your predictable budget could suddenly be blown up by these random, potentially huge fee increases, and there's not much you can do about it.
Now, clause 3, privacy. And for a lot of people, this is the most terrifying one. The contract states that all the data collected by the home sensors, we're talking cameras, microphones, the floor sensors, everything, is the exclusive property of Tesla. Not for a year, not for 10 years, in perpetuity. Forever. That means every single conversation you have, every move you make, every moment inside your own home is being recorded and owned by a corporation. The attorney who looked at this contract said it was, without a doubt, one of the biggest surrenders of personal privacy he had ever seen in a consumer agreement.
Number 4 is the warranty. So this indestructible home, it only comes with a 24-month warranty. Just 2 years. The industry standard for a manufactured home is often a 10-year structural warranty. So after 2 years, you are on the hook for every single repair. And remember that Powerwall battery? It's kind of the heart of the whole system. Well, if that thing fails in, say, year 5, you're looking at an out-of-pocket replacement cost of about $7,500. That one repair would cost more than half of what you paid for the entire Independence package in the first place. That is a major financial risk.
Next up, Clause 5, resale. Let's say you decide you want to sell your home.
Well, you can't just put it on the market. The contract gives Tesla the first right of refusal to buy it back from you at a fixed price, 80% of what you paid for it. This means it doesn't matter what the market is doing. Even if demand is through the roof and the home should be worth more, you are contractually forced to sell it back to Tesla at a loss. This clause basically makes it impossible for the home to be a financial investment that you could pass on to your family or sell for a profit.
And finally, Clause 6, zoning. That whole freedom to move your home anywhere you want? Well, that freedom is mostly limited to moving it between Tesla's own pre-approved communities. If you want to move the home onto your own private land or maybe a family member's property, in most states that changes everything. The home gets reclassified from a movable dwelling to a permanent structure. And that sets off a whole chain reaction of bureaucracy and costs, building permits, inspections, and the big one, you now have to pay full annual property taxes. So that go-anywhere freedom is really more like go anywhere within the Tesla ecosystem.
So, we've looked at the amazing dream of the technology, and we've stared into the harsh reality of the contract, which brings us to our final section, the verdict. Who is this actually for? And under what specific circumstances does this whole thing actually make sense?
This table right here, this might be the most important slide of them all. It all comes down to location. You see, in 5 states, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, and Idaho, the laws classify these homes as movable dwellings, basically like an RV. And because of that, they are not subject to property tax. That is a huge, permanent financial advantage. But if you take that exact same home and put it on private land in a state like California, it's usually considered a permanent structure, and that would hit you with an annual property tax bill of maybe $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 a year, which completely changes the math. So the success of this entire idea really depends almost entirely on state tax laws.
So here's the final breakdown. This way of living could be a fantastic option for you if you live in one of those 5 tax-free states. It's for somebody who cares more about a high-tech, low-maintenance lifestyle than they do about building traditional real estate wealth. And you have to be okay with Tesla's massive data collection in exchange for all the safety and convenience. On the other hand, you should run away from this deal if what you want is true, unconditional ownership of your home. You should avoid it if you value your privacy or if your plan is to build an asset you can pass down to your kids, because the resale rules make that pretty much impossible. This isn't buying a home. It's more like subscribing to a managed lifestyle.
But it's important that we don't forget the big idea here. The Tesla tiny house is more than just a product. It's an attempt to completely redefine what a home is in the 21st century. It's a vision of a future where people aren't trapped by utility grids, or at the mercy of landlords, or buried under 30-year mortgages. It's a really bold experiment to create a self-sustaining little ecosystem for one person. A house that's designed not to tie you down, but to give you a whole new kind of freedom.
And for Musk, this vision has always been bigger than just Earth. It all started with him living in a tiny box in Texas. Today, it's a fully automated factory in Nevada. But the real long-term goal? It's to perfect the blueprint for self-sufficient human habitats that you can drop anywhere, including the surface of Mars. Figuring out how to live sustainably off-grid in the Nevada desert? Well, that's just a dress rehearsal for keeping humans alive on another planet. It's about proving that we can build a future that's cleaner, smarter, and a whole lot more resilient.
And that's where we'll leave it, with the main question. After you weigh the amazing technology against the really restrictive contract, after you consider the freedom from utility bills against the submission to corporate surveillance, could you live in 240 square feet if it meant living with Tesla's definition of freedom? It's a personal question for sure, and your answer says a lot about the kind of future you're willing to sign up for. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide.